My beloved brothers and sisters, we live in a world filled with challenges, pain, and struggles. Each one of us carries a burden that nobody else can truly understand. Some of us cry silently at night, others feel hopeless even when they smile during the day. But do you know what makes a believer different? It is that no matter how heavy the burden, no matter how dark the night, we have something more powerful than the world itself. We have dua. Dua is not just words whispered to the Almighty. It is the rope that connects your broken heart to the one who created it. It is the bridge between despair and hope, between weakness and strength. My brothers and sisters, when the world turns away, when people disappoint you, when everything seems impossible, remember, there is a door that is never closed, a listener who never ignores, and a king who never rejects. That is Allah. So today, as we reflect on the power of dua, I want you to open your heart. Think about your deepest dream, your biggest dream, your hidden tears, and realize that dua has the power to change it all. Not tomorrow, not later, but at the exact moment Allah knows is best for you. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the greatest gifts Allah has given us is the power of dua. Do you realize what it truly means when we say, dua connects you directly to Allah, without barriers, without conditions? It means that no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter what you have done in life, the doors of communication with the King of Kings are always open. In this world, if you want to speak to someone important, you need appointments, you need influence, you need to wait in line. Sometimes, even after all the effort, you might be rejected. But with Allah, the Lord of the worlds, you don't need any appointment, you don't need to pay, you don't need to be from a certain class or status. All you need is your heart turning to Him, and your lips whispering His name. At that very moment, He listens to you. My brothers and sisters, this connection is so pure, so personal, that nobody else can interfere. You don't need a translator, you don't need a middleman, you don't even need to raise your voice. Even the whispers of your heart are heard by Allah. Sometimes, you may be sitting in a gathering, silent, yet your heart is calling upon Him, and He is responding to you. Isn't that powerful? Isn't that beautiful? We live in a world where people are quick to judge us, quick to reject us, quick to ignore us. But Allah never does that. He says in the Quran, "Call upon me. I will respond to you." This is not a promise from a human being who may forget or change their word. This is a promise from Allah Himself, the most merciful, the most loving. Think about this for a moment. When you make dua, you are directly connected to the same Lord who parted the sea for Musa, as, who saved Yunus, as, from the belly of the whale, who gave Zachariah as a child in old age, who healed Ayub, as after years of suffering, and who granted victory to our beloved Prophet Muhammad, against all odds. The same Allah is listening to you right now. If He could respond to them in their darkest moments, why would He not respond to you? Sometimes, my brothers and sisters, we underestimate this connection. We think our problems are too small, or that Allah is too great to care about the tiny details of our lives. But remember, the one who created you knows your heartbeat, your thoughts, your struggles, your tears. If He pays attention to the ant walking on a dark stone in the middle of the night, then surely He cares about your pain and your needs. So never let Shaitan make you feel that you are too sinful, too unworthy, or too late to turn to Allah. Dua is your private meeting with the King of Kings, and He never closes His doors. All you have to do is raise your hands, open your heart, and call upon Him. And in that very moment, you are connected directly to the Creator of the heavens and the earth. My beloved brothers and sisters, life is filled with trials. Every single one of us has moments when the pain feels unbearable, when the burden is too heavy, and when hope seems to vanish from our hearts. In those moments, many people break down, they give up, they lose themselves in despair. But a believer has something different, something that no psychologist, no medicine, no wealth, and no worldly solution can ever truly replace. That is the power of dua. Dua has the ability to transform your pain into strength and your despair into hope. How does it do this? When you raise your hands and turn to Allah, you are not just speaking into the air. You are not just expressing your emotions. You are placing your heart into the hands of the one who controls everything. And once you hand your burden to Allah, you begin to feel lighter, you begin to feel stronger, and you begin to see a light even in the darkest tunnel. Let me share something with you, my brothers and sisters. When a person cries before Allah in dua, those tears are not wasted. Every tear that falls is a testimony that you trusted Allah with your pain. And Allah never lets down those who trust Him. That pain you thought would break you. Through dua, it becomes the very fuel that pushes you closer to your Creator, makes your iman stronger, and your heart more resilient. Think of the story of Prophet Ayub as. He was tested with years of illness, with the loss of family, with hardship after hardship. People abandoned him. Wealth was taken away, health was taken away, but he never abandoned dua. And when he raised his hands and said, "Ya Allah, indeed distress has touched me, and you are the most merciful of the merciful," his pain transformed into strength. That dua was not just words, it was the reason his despair turned into healing, and his suffering turned into blessings. My beloved sisters, how many times have you felt your heart break in silence, feeling like nobody in this world can understand what you are going through? My dear brothers, how many times have you carried burdens that you could not even share with your closest family? In those moments, Shaitan tries to convince you that it's over, that there is no way out. But then, when you place your forehead on the ground in sajda, and you whisper to Allah, you realize that you are not alone, that your pain is heard, and that your heart is still alive with hope. The beauty of dua is not only in the response, but in the transformation it brings inside you. Sometimes, Allah does not immediately change your situation, but He changes you. He gives you patience, He gives you courage, He gives you the ability to smile through tears and walk with dignity even when the world expects you to collapse. That is the unseen power of dua. We must understand, my brothers and sisters, that despair is a weapon of Shaitan. He wants you to feel hopeless so that you disconnect from Allah. But dua is your shield, it protects you from despair. The moment you raise your hands and say, "Ya Allah help me," you have already defeated hopelessness, because the one who calls upon Allah can never be hopeless. And remember, dua is not about fancy words. Sometimes the most powerful dua is simply a broken heart that says, "Ya Allah, I cannot do this without you." That sincerity turns weakness into strength. That humility turns despair into hope. So, the next time pain surrounds you, instead of letting it destroy you, let it drive you to your prayer mat. Instead of drowning in despair, let dua be the rope that pulls you out. Each time you call upon Allah, remind yourself, I am not talking to a human being who may fail me. I am talking to the one who is capable of everything, the one who can change my entire destiny with a single command. And that realization, my brothers and sisters, is what transforms the way you carry your pain. It gives you the courage to endure, the strength to continue, and the hope that no matter how dark the night may be, the morning of Allah's mercy is always near. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most beautiful realities of dua is that Allah always responds. But in His way, not ours. Many times, we raise our hands and we want the answer immediately, in the exact form we imagined. And when that does not happen, we feel disappointed, sometimes even hopeless. But remember, Allah is Al-Hakim, the most wise. He knows what we do not know, He sees what we cannot see, and He gives us not just what we want, but what we need. There are 3 ways Allah responds to your dua. Sometimes He grants it now. You ask for something sincerely, and within moments, days, or weeks you see the doors open. That is His mercy, His generosity. At times, He grants it immediately to remind you that He is near, He listens, and He answers. Other times, Allah delays the answer. Why? Because He knows that the right moment has not arrived. Just like a seed takes time to grow into a tree, your dua sometimes takes time to bear fruit. Imagine asking Allah for a job, a spouse, or relief from hardship. You may think, "Ya Allah, why are you not answering?" But perhaps, if He gave it to you now, it would harm you. Perhaps you are not ready. Perhaps the blessing is not ready. But when the right time comes, you will look back and realize the delay was actually a hidden gift. And then, my brothers and sisters, there is the third type of answer. When Allah gives you something far better than what you asked for. Sometimes you beg Allah for one thing, but out of His mercy, He replaces it with something greater. You may ask for wealth, but He gives you contentment that no wealth can buy. You may ask for one relationship, but He saves you from heartbreak and blesses you with someone better. You may ask for success in one path, but He blocks it only to guide you to something far greater for your dunya and your akhirah. Never forget, my beloved brothers and sisters, that Allah says in the Quran, "Perhaps you hate a thing, and it is good for you, and perhaps you love a thing and it is bad for you. And Allah knows, while you know not." This ayah is the essence of trust in dua. Our knowledge is limited, but Allah's wisdom is infinite. So when you make dua and don't see the answer right away, don't let Shaitan whisper hopelessness into your heart. Instead, remind yourself Allah heard me the first time. Allah knows what is best for me. If it's good for me, it will come. If not, Allah will replace it with something even better. The believer's heart rests in this trust. And with this trust, every dua becomes a source of peace, whether the answer is now, later, or in a way beyond our imagination. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the most powerful signs of a believer's strength is persistence in dua. To keep calling upon Allah again and again, even when the answer has not yet come, is a proof of your faith, a sign of your patience, and an expression of your trust in Allah's plan. You see, in this dunya, when you knock on someone's door repeatedly, they may get annoyed. If you ask a human being too often, they might ignore you or even reject you. But with Allah, the opposite is true. The more you ask, the more He loves it. The more you persist, the more He draws you closer. Allah never tires of hearing your voice. It is we who tire of asking. Persistence in dua is not about repeating words like a ritual. It is about showing Allah that you have placed your heart, your trust, and your future entirely in His hands. It is about proving that you are not just making dua in a moment of emotion, but that you truly believe He is the only one who can grant you what you seek. That is why the Prophet 6 told us that Allah loves those who are consistent and persistent in their worship. My brothers and sisters, let me remind you of the story of Prophet Zachariah as. He was old, his wife was barren, and by human standards, there was no chance of him having a child, but he never gave up his dua. Again and again, he called upon Allah. And in his old age, Allah blessed him with Yahya as, a child who became a prophet. What was the lesson? That persistence in dua shows your reliance on Allah's power, not on human calculations. Sometimes, persistence in dua is the very test Allah places upon you. He may not give you what you ask for immediately because He wants to see, will you give up? Will you lose hope? Or will you continue knocking on His door, trusting His wisdom? That persistence itself is a form of worship. It builds patience in your heart, it strengthens your iman, and it teaches you humility. Remember, my beloved sisters, when you raise your hands every day, asking Allah for your children's guidance, for your family's well-being, for peace in your home, even if you don't see immediate change, every dua is already bringing barakah. It is already shaping your destiny. It is already protecting you from things you don't see. And my dear brothers, when you make dua persistently for your sustenance, for your career, for your future, even if the result is not clear, every dua is planting seeds that will one day grow in ways you cannot imagine. Persistence in dua is also proof that you have patience with Allah's timing. Many people want quick answers, but a true believer knows that Allah's timing is perfect. He may delay your dua, because He wants you to grow through the waiting. He may delay it because He wants you to keep calling upon Him. Because every call purifies your heart and increases your closeness to Him. And sometimes, persistence in dua is not about changing your situation but about changing you. You become calmer, more reliant, more connected to Allah. And that inner transformation is often a greater blessing than the thing you were asking for. My beloved brothers and sisters, never underestimate the reward of persistence. The Prophet told us that a dua is always answered. Either Allah grants what you ask, or He removes a harm from you, or He saves it as a reward for you in the hereafter. Imagine on the Day of Judgment, you stand before Allah, and He shows you mountains of rewards, and you ask, Ya Allah, what are these for? And He says, these are for the du'as you made that you thought were unanswered. Subhanallah. That is the mercy of Allah. So, don't give up. Don't say, I've been making dua for so long, and nothing has happened. Instead, say, I will never stop asking, because my Lord loves to hear me ask, and His treasures never run out. Persistence in dua is proof that you truly believe Allah's plan is better than yours, and that His timing is more perfect than anything you could plan. Keep calling upon Him, my brothers and sisters. Every Ya Allah you whisper is building your strength, showing your faith, and planting the seeds of hope that will bloom at the moment Allah knows is best. My beloved brothers and sisters, one of the greatest secrets of dua is that it does not only bring blessings into your life, it also protects you from harm. Even when you don't realize it. Many times, we make dua for something specific, and perhaps it does not happen the way we expected. But what we do not see is how Allah, through that very dua, diverted a hardship, a calamity, or a disaster away from us. You see, we humans only know what is in front of us. Our vision is limited. We see today, but we do not see tomorrow. We know what is visible, but we do not know what is hidden. Allah, however, is Al-Alim, the all-knowing. He knows what is coming your way. He knows the dangers that you are not even aware of. And when you raise your hands in dua, He may protect you from something that you never even imagined. The Prophet taught us that dua can change qadar. Imagine that for a moment. There may be a hardship written for you, but your sincere dua comes between you and that hardship. You may never know about it in this world, but on the Day of Judgment, Allah will show you all the times He protected you because of your du'as. Think about it, my brothers and sisters. How many times have you traveled and returned safely, without realizing how many accidents you were protected from? How many times have you walked under the sky, not knowing that there could have been harm, yet Allah diverted it? How many illnesses never reached you? How many betrayals never touched you? How many losses were avoided? All because you made dua. Sometimes, when we make dua, we expect a visible result: wealth, health, success. But one of the hidden results of dua is protection. Maybe you asked Allah for a better job, and you didn't get it. You felt disappointed. But perhaps Allah knew that job would destroy your peace, take away your time with family, or lead you into sin. So instead, He protected you. Maybe you asked Allah for a relationship to work out, and it didn't. You cried, you felt broken. But perhaps Allah knew that relationship would bring years of pain. So instead of granting it, He protected you by closing that door. My beloved sisters, how many times have you prayed for your children? Ya Allah, keep them safe, protect their faith, guide them. And you thought nothing happened. But maybe it was that dua which saved your child from an accident on the road, or from falling into bad company, or from losing their way in life. And my dear brothers, perhaps the dua you made years ago, Ya Allah, protect my parents, protect my home, was the very reason you were spared from harm that was written to touch you. Dua is like a shield. You may not always see it, but it is protecting you every single day. And sometimes, when something bad happens despite your dua, remember that even that is protection. Allah may allow a small difficulty to come your way so that a greater disaster is prevented. The pain you went through was not punishment. It was mercy in disguise. The Prophet said, "Nothing repels the decree except dua." This means that every sincere dua you make is actively working to block harms you cannot see. Just because you are unaware does not mean Allah is not protecting you. My beloved brothers and sisters, when you reach Jannah by Allah's mercy, you will finally see the full picture. You will realize that so many calamities were removed from your path, so many disasters were diverted, so many hardships were lightened. All because of the duas you made in this world. And on that day, you will thank Allah that He inspired you to keep making dua, even when you didn't see immediate results. So don't ever think your dua is wasted. Don't ever say, "I asked but nothing happened." Something always happens. Either Allah gives you what you asked for, or He gives you better, or He protects you from harm you never even knew existed. That is the hidden beauty of dua. Keep your hands raised, my brothers and sisters. Every Ya Allah you whisper is building a shield around you, your family, your home, and your future. You may not see it, but one day you will realize that dua has been your greatest protection all along. My beloved brothers and sisters, there is a secret in the power of dua that many people overlook. The most powerful dua is not the one filled with long, poetic words. It is not the one that is recited the loudest, or in the most beautiful voice. The most powerful dua is the one that comes from a heart that is broken, humbled, and completely surrendered before Allah. When your heart is shattered, when your eyes are wet with tears, and when you raise your hands saying, "Ya Allah, I have no one but you," that moment carries a weight that no eloquent speech could ever carry. Because Allah looks at your sincerity, not your vocabulary. He looks at the condition of your heart, not the length of your words. My brothers and sisters, think of Prophet Yunus, a.s. In the darkness of the belly of the whale, there was no one to hear him, no place to run, no way out. Yet, from a broken heart he cried, "La ilaha illa anta, subhanaka, inni kuntu minas zalimin." There is no deity except you, Allah, glory be to you, indeed I was from the wrongdoers. That was not a long dua, but it came from the depths of his soul. And it was so powerful that Allah rescued him from the darkness and made it an eternal lesson for humanity. Sometimes, Allah allows our hearts to break so that we can truly connect with Him. Because when life is easy, when everything is smooth, our duas may become routine. We say the words but our hearts are distracted. But when the pain is deep, when we feel helpless, suddenly our hearts pour out with sincerity. And that sincerity is what Allah loves most. My beloved sisters, perhaps you have cried at night over your children, over your health, over your struggles. And in those tears, you whispered to Allah words that nobody else heard. Those were not wasted tears. They were the strongest duas, written in your book of deeds. And my dear brothers, maybe you have felt crushed under the weight of responsibilities, feeling like you have no way forward. But when you bowed your head and said, "Ya Allah, guide me, strengthen me, forgive me," those few words from a broken heart carried more weight than hours of ritual without sincerity. The Prophet told us, "Beware of the doer of the oppressed, for there is no barrier between it and Allah." Why? Because it comes from a heart that is broken and humbled. Even if that oppressed person says only, "Ya Allah, help me," the heavens shake and the mercy of Allah descends. We must understand, my brothers and sisters, that brokenness before Allah is not weakness. It is the essence of true strength. Because when you admit, "Ya Allah, I cannot do this without you," You are placing yourself in the hands of the one who is all powerful. Your tears are not a sign of failure, they are a sign of iman. There is a hadith Qudsi where Allah says, I am with the broken-hearted. Subhanallah, imagine that. When the world sees your tears and thinks you are weak, Allah is closer to you than ever. When people turn away, He is the one who says, I am with you. So never be ashamed of crying in your du'as. Never think that your broken words are not enough. The most powerful dua is not polished, it is raw. It is the dua that escapes from a trembling heart, a shaking voice, and tearful eyes. And remember, sometimes the brokenness itself is the answer. Because through it, Allah purifies your soul, elevates your rank, and brings you closer to Him. And what greater gift is there than closeness to Allah? My beloved brothers and sisters, the next time you feel like your world is collapsing, don't see it as the end. See it as the perfect moment for the most powerful dua of your life. Place your head on the ground, let your tears fall, and say with all your heart, Ya Allah, I am broken, but you are the one who mends. I am weak, but you are the one who strengthens. I am lost, but you are the one who guides. And know this, the dua of a humbled, broken heart never goes unanswered. It either changes your world today, protects you from harm tomorrow, or saves for you unimaginable treasures in the hereafter.